Hello and welcome to our weekly wisdom. I am Tammy Jaffe, your host, taking you from employee to entrepreneur without all the headaches. And this week on our weekly wisdom, I have a very special guest that I'm excited to introduce to you, Kim Phillips. She is amazing. Let me tell you guys, I am so excited to have her because I heard her speak at an event and we both had to do these 3-minute talks. And there were a few people that I went back and I'm like, I want them to come on my show. I want them to come and talk to our audience. And so Kim is here with us today. She is the founder of Powerful Professionals, a business coaching and education company. She was recently named number 475 in Inc.'s 5,000 and is an MBA free self-made millionaire. Named a must to read by those in business by Forbes magazine. She is the best-selling author of multiple books, including The Ultimate Guide to Instagram for Business and the No BS Guide to Direct Response Social Marketing. She's spoken around the world and coached some of the biggest brands and thought leaders. Having worked alongside Tony Robbins, Grant Cardone, Kevin O'Leary, and Dr. Nito Quiben, Dan, so many, I can't even, Dan Kennedy, Bill Glazer, and Gary Vaynerchuk. I mean, come on, guys, can we just welcome Kim to our stage here? She resides in Atlanta, Georgia, with her very tall husband and her glitter-obsessed girls, and is fueled by faith, love, laughter, and lots of coffee. And we just realized our girls are the same age. Welcome, Kim. She's got her coffee. I have my tea. What are you all drinking today? Let us know in the comments. Kim, I'm so glad to have you here. Tell us a little bit how you got started in this business.
I started like a lot of people do, doing what everybody else does, right? Relying upon word of mouth and referrals. And at the time of starting my business, I was living in this small conservative town in middle country, and I was from New York. And so I really did not blend like that. My cousin Vinny, that moment, yeah, you blend. I did not blend, but I spent a heck of a lot of time trying to blend. And so I wasn't really being my authentic self. I was relying upon word of mouth and referrals. And so we took all the business that would come to us, which typically wasn't great. It was doing a lot of work with people who weren't right fit, and we struggled. It was finally when I had hooked my engagement ring in order to make payroll, because that's how bad things got, that we thought better do something different. And it's really when then we unlock the power of digital marketing in order to grow our own business so we could start getting clients from outside of our small town, that our business took off. And it grew to the point of being able to exit, get a really great offer, and then started our coaching company where we now empower other entrepreneurs to finally unlock the power of digital marketing, even if that's the very thing that freaks them out right now.
Yes, and I think that it's freaking a lot of people out, and so many more things happening with digital marketing. But what does it actually mean to be a digital response social media expert?
Right. So there's this whole thing, right? There's either like we're on social all day, wasting our time, flittering it away on Instagram and Facebook, scrolling news feeds, or their direct response marketing, which is this thing that you do to get a immediate response, either get someone to opt in, sign up for a sales call, attend your webinar, make a purchase. And what we do is we combine the two worlds. We attract people first with a social approach, because social media is a cocktail party. People are hanging out to have a good time. They don't want to be sold to, but they will stop and pay attention if you have something interesting or engaging or entertaining. So you attract them first in that way, but then you quickly move them along in a process of steps to go from knowing nothing about you to becoming your client, customer, or patient. So we combine the world of social with ROI. So everything we do in social media marketing is directly related to what is the result it's bringing. My favorite quote is, "In God I trust, everyone else bring data." And so the data approach to social media marketing brings those two worlds together.
Yeah, I love that. And that's one of the things that, I have this conversation with my clients too, because I call myself a recovering CPA because I was a CPA at one point, and I felt like I was trying to get out of it, and left the numbers behind when I started my business. And it wasn't until I started really focusing on, the numbers in a different way, right? The numbers in the right way, and understanding what they meant, understanding what they bring to your business and why it's so important, because otherwise you're just shooting, darts at an empty wall. You don't know what you're trying to hit. And without having that data in place. So I love when you say that, because I had to pull my accounting hat back out and understand what the numbers mean, understand where they're coming from in your business and why it's so important to set some of those goals, and not just say, I want to make, 10,000 a month or 100,000 a month or whatever that goal is for people getting started, but like understanding what it means to get there.
Exactly. And I mean, with your audience looking at that pivot, I went from, and I think you did the same way, like transitioned slowly from full-time corporate to being an entrepreneur. And that it started first with my lunch breaks and after work and my vacation time, all the way till finally giving notice. And I knew in my head, I needed enough income. Like my mind was made up that once I received enough client income to equal my salary, I was going to give notice. So I had a set number to hit,
Yeah.
right? And if we can operate in that way, I have this many consulting jobs I need to get, or I need to sell this many of this product. This equals this number of recurring revenue. I can then move to my next phase. You'll get there. The one piece of that is, though, you always want to look at, right? What does that look like a year from now? What does that have to be in the next 90 days to hit that year goal? What does that have to be in the next 30 days to hit that goal? 1 week, 1 day. And every day you say no to the activities you need to do to reach that 1 year goal, you're saying you're willing to wait yet another day to accomplish it.
Yeah, I love the way you put that, because I think people don't think about it in that sense, right? You set the annual goal, and everybody's thinking about their annual goals right now. And what is it going to be for 2021? And, you think about the number you want to hit. It's one of the first goals that most people in business start to think about, is what number do I want to hit for this year? But when we're not doing those tasks and those things that help us get there, then you're putting it off. You're right. It's like, just, okay, it's not that important to me. I can delay it another day, another week, another year.
Yeah, that's a big part of it. And I think that's how you have to approach social. You're not just on there for filling your time. It's one thing to be busy, but it's a whole nother thing to be productive. But if I'm going to be on there specifically to reach my target market with a set goal in mind, this is how many impressions I'm going to have. This is how many leads I'm going to collect. This is how many conversations that's going to result in. Then you start managing it from a perspective of, this is how I'm going to use this time the most productively possible so I can achieve my goals as fast as I want to.
Yes, awesome. So I know you're the social expert. So tell us why it's so important that we grow our social following.
There's this whole world out there that you shouldn't bother to get big numbers, right? People love to say that's a waste of time, money, and energy. But typically, those that are saying that don't have a big following. Let's be real. And there is a real reason why you want to have a big following. And it comes from the concept of the herd mentality. We were actually created to make decisions based on what other people are already doing. It's why when you get off a plane and you've never been to that airport before, you start following the path of where everyone's going. Or you see 2 restaurants next to each other. One has a bunch of cars in the parking lot. One has 2 cars in the parking lot. You're typically not going to go to the one with only a couple people. We find safety in numbers. So if you're trying to attract key clients, key employees, vendor partners, and they go to see your profile on social and you don't have big numbers, their brain is instantly telling them, wait, they're not a proven entity. Wait, I'm not sure I could do business with them. But if you have those big numbers, that is this quick subconscious checkbox that tells them they could take the next step with you. Also, when it comes to the social media networks themselves, they want to see those numbers because then they unlock different resources for you that other people don't have. You're the one who has more opportunities inside of Facebook Live. In fact, you can boost a Facebook Live in the Facebook Live. While it's live, more people can find out about it when you have a big following. It also tends to share your content with people besides your audience for free. So there's a lot of other things that happen when you have a big network, but you get invited to do things like this, speaking opportunities, platforms, podcasts. Building those numbers is a critical part to growing your brand.
Absolutely. So I love that you put it in the sense of it gives you automatic kind of authority and that they don't have to do so much research and trying to figure out who you are and are you valid. But what do you do once you have that big following? What do you do when you've grown your audience? How do you use it effectively?
There's an approach to take in that we can just post when we feel like it or when we have time. But if you had an opportunity to be on the Today Show every single day, you probably would take it and you would spend some time, money, and energy figuring out the messaging to put out there. Well, same thing comes for social. You have an opportunity to reach your exact market every day. If you have 1,000 people following you online, on let's say you just have 1,000 people who like you on your business page, and let's say you only get to hit 3% of them a day. So you're at 30 people a day. Over the course of 30 days, we're now at 270, right? We keep going up, we go up, and it continues to multiply. If you could reach 270 people right now for free, would you do it? Of course you would. But yet we let every day pass by with social media. So you want to get into consistency. I recommend not trying to post in real time because life just doesn't work that way, but instead using built-in tools that Facebook offers, which is Creator Studio or publishing tools, where you can schedule your posts ahead of time. That actually has a greater reach than using outside sources like Hootsuite or Meet Edgar that cost money. Using Facebook's own tools to schedule your post, you're going to have a much better response. And the way I like to look at it is that you want your content to be 85% PBS and 15% QVC, meaning you're only going to be self-promotional 15% of the time. The rest of the time, you're offering valuable tips, suggestions, strategies, things that your audience will find super helpful.
That's awesome. Yes, I like the QVC versus CVS. Like we need to make sure that we're, putting valuable content out there. So if someone is new and getting started, how should they get started with their social media?
A great resource to check out is called answerthepublic.com. It's
Mhm.
answerthepublic.com. And you can go there and look up your topic and you can see questions people are asking right now about your topic or niche. And you could simply start a series of Facebook Lives like we're doing right now, answering those questions. It's so simple. You're not showing up trying to promote or trying to sell them something, because again, that's not why they're on social media, but you're offering incredible value. And then when they see the value that you can offer in this free stuff, they're going to know your paid stuff is really, really good. And so it's a great way. Now, if you're watching this right now and you're like, I don't have a business yet, I'm just thinking about it, that's the absolute positive best time to start growing an audience. Before you even need the money from the business, you start growing that audience so you could be nurturing them and building authority with them. And then when you go to launch, you have a trusted group that can't wait to do business with you.
Awesome. Love that. And I have to ask, what's your favorite app?
I love an app called Word Swag. Word Swag, you can turn images into really great posts in just a couple of seconds. The layouts are great. All the photos are built into it. It's about $2 a month, totally worth it. And the fonts are laid out. And then the other paid app I love is called Facetune, because 2020 did not allow me to keep up the normal upkeep that's required in your late 40s. But Facetune lets me take a photo and do a quick smooth out, a whitening, a backdrop. And so the fun thing about that is you can do just a couple of photos. When I'll do a photo shoot, you can quickly on that app change the background images. So you can use one photo a bunch of different times in different posts, because you can change the look and feel of it on that app. It's really fantastic.
Love that. We're always looking for fun ways to, put yourself in a different background. We've seen all the
Right,
virtual
exactly.
backgrounds and different ways to, make yourself look a little better when you're not having one of those makeup days. But speaking of no makeup days, are you on Clubhouse yet?
I am.
What do you think of Clubhouse?
I love it. I don't know how it's going to work for entrepreneurs who already have very busy schedules. I don't think it's an accident that they started releasing a bunch of invitations during Christmas break where people had more time, because to really get a lot out of it, you need to have some significant time invested in it. But having a content platform that lets you be interactive is awesome. I mean, I love that. Having an interactive podcast that's like this, but on audio, which is great. I don't love that it's limited to only iPhone users right now. I wish it was more inclusive, but again, I know their marketing is obviously brilliant, and they've been having much success with it in Silicon Valley. Have you been having a good time with it?
I have, yes. I did my first room yesterday, and we've set up weekly rooms, my mastermind partners and I. And I've got a couple other events coming up this week that I'm going to be doing. And I've loved that, like, I just go in there and, people like Grant Cardone has got a room going and you can go ask him questions, and Todd Herm, like there's so many people on there right now that are collaborating and just allowing people to come in and talk to them and ask questions. And you get a little more access than you probably would, even from the Facebook Lives and things. So that's one thing I do love about it.
Yeah, that's been really cool. And actually, it's funny. We on our Christmas break just now. We went to go visit my parents who live up in New York. I'm in Georgia, and we rented an RV, so we didn't have to get out to rest stops or hotels. We could keep them safe. So we're in RV like 2,000 miles over last week. So I had some Clubhouse listening time, and I was in Todd Herman's room, and he made me one of the speakers. And I forgot how you're not muted, right? I'm like, they just picked me. Oh, I said like the gas, like it said out loud to the whole room. I just got picked. And like that's the thing is like it's just in learning phases right now, y'all. So when you get in there, it's okay. We all have those moments of having to figure it out. And if you have a little cone next to your name with a little like a party confetti, that means you're a newbie and everyone gets it. Everybody has to learn somehow.
Yes, absolutely. How long are we considered newbies? I'm wondering.
I don't know. I don't have my cone anymore. So apparently that went away.
Maybe because you've been a speaker now a few times. That's awesome. Well, it's interesting to see some of the new apps and things coming up, with, I'm sure for you, because that's your focus of social media and some of those things, you probably had to figure them out first because you have so many clients probably coming and asking you, okay, what do we do now with these new apps?
I do in some ways, but my market is 40 plus. They typically are not the early adopters. They're not the quick decision makers. I want to be aware of what the things are, but I really try to get them to focus on one or two things that can move the needle on their business. The reason why I actually like Clubhouse is it's very low tech. There's very little for them to figure out. And so I like that platform, but like we haven't dove into TikTok because that would overwhelm my audience of having to create these little videos and the idea of getting in front of a bunch of people. Like that's not their jam. So we are really selective in the things we go deep into for strategy and really focus it around who my market is. And I'm really clear on who that person is. But Clubhouse is interesting because I recommend that they do podcasting, which I love. And it's really like an interactive podcast, but even simpler because you're not having to produce or edit. Right. So it'll be interesting to see where it goes from here. But that's why we looked at that one. Most of the networks, though, I don't recommend that they do.
Yeah. Totally understand that. I think some of them have kind of come and gone, but I really appreciate you being here. And for those of you watching, if you have questions for Kim, make sure you type them in the chat. And Kim, I know you have a really special gift for our audience. Can you share with them what that is?
Yeah, I'm so excited about this. So the thing about, growing your social media network is that you want to get those numbers up quickly. And you don't want to have to wait days, weeks, months, years to get those numbers so you can start attracting your right fit audience. And so we have a free challenge going on that will get you thousands of Facebook followers, real, actual right fit clients in just a few days. It's great for you if you already have a Facebook page and you want to grow it quickly. It's also great for you if you don't yet and you need to start marketing on Facebook. We're going to take you through that exact process and you get access to that challenge at 10xfollowerchallenge.com. That's 10xfollowerchallenge.com. And you get access right now for free.
Awesome. And we'll post that link in the comments right after as well. So go grab that. I will grab it and share it with my team as well, as we're always looking to learn new ways, new things, and learn from the experts in this area. So thank you, Kim, for being on with us today. It was so great to talk to you. I feel like I could talk to you forever.
Yeah, thanks so much for having me. So much fun.
Yeah, absolutely. Go out there, get social, go get Kim's download, and remember to get inspired to do what it is you want to do so that you can build the life that you want to build. I will see you all next week on our weekly wisdom.